It is early March 2023, and Shomo, Tom, and I are in Grand Canyon National Park for an 8-day backpacking adventure. We've already had some trials and tribulations to get to this point due to a big snowstorm that hit northern Arizona, delayed our trip, altered our plans, but it is going to give us a snowy canyon to hike in, which should be awesome. It's super windy this morning. We're ready to get moving and get warm. It's time to hit the trail. Getting to the bottom optional, getting to the top mandatory. Our plan today takes us 10 miles from the top of the rim at over 6,000 feet all the way down to the bottom of the Colorado River at just over 2,000 feet. The infamous Boucher Trail breaks off to the left. The Santa Maria Spring and Hut. We've dropped down out of most of the snow and out of a good part of the wind. This morning was brutal, cold, extremely windy, but it's getting nicer, turning into a beautiful day. Making our way down, the wind continues to blast us. There's the Colorado. Dropping down past the cathedral stairs section, we're now closing in on Tonto. Making good progress today. Approaching Hermit Creek and the Hermit Creek campsite, we will continue down to Hermit Rapids. Hermit Creek restroom and campsite. We're 1.5 miles from home for the night. Trekking the Hermit Gorge. The mighty Colorado River. Perhaps I should say the muddy Colorado River. Home sweet home. Hermit Rapids campsite after a long, hard day. The Grand Canyon received over 4.7 million visitors in 2022, making it the second most visited national park, behind only the Great Smoky Mountains. On this trip, we're using the Grand Canyon East map by Nat Geo. Let's take a look at the map for day 1. Starting at Hermit's Rest, we descended through the snow, following the Hermit Trail all the way down to Hermit Creek, and then on to Hermit Rapids, where we set up camp. Day 1 was about 12 miles. Day 1 of our backpacking adventure in the Grand Canyon has been a great day. A tough day, as all days into or out of the canyon are, but beautiful views. We dropped down from the cold, snowy top to the nice, comfortable bottom. For me personally, it's a
feeling of familiarity because this is the last campsite that I stayed in the canyon. Long day for us. We're gonna get some dinner in us, finish setting up camp, and settle in for a relaxing evening. That'll be the end of day one. Good night. Good morning. We made it day 2 of our backpack in the Grand Canyon. We had a calm night last night. The temperature stayed mild and comfortable. We got some good rest in after a tiring first day. Our plan today is to head about 7 miles to the Boucher Creek area. We're going to start by retracing our steps up through Hermit Creek. The sun's out, it's a beautiful day, and we're ready to hit the trail. Leaving the Colorado behind for now. In and out of the shade and sun. Leaving the Hermit Gorge behind. Ascending up to the Tonto platform. Remains from the old railroad camp that was down here in the early 1900s. We enjoyed a nice lunch break at this view, looking down into the Hermit Gorge and around the canyon. Very pretty day, very pretty hike. Looking down on Hermit Rapids, we started the day on that little sandy beach, Travertine Canyon. I can do absolutely no justice to the scale of this place. It is magnificent. There are the Boucher Rapids. As we follow the Colorado River around, we'll pop out to the side where we see Hermit Rapids again. This was one of our campsites from the last trip. Good memories of the beautiful view from the top of that knoll there. Speaking of the view from the top of the knoll, let's take a 360-degree look around this beautiful corner of this beautiful canyon. Dropping down into Boucher Canyon, closing in on home for the night. Home sweet home. We made it to camp along Boucher Creek. Time to get set up and kick back.
Grand Canyon temperatures increase about 5 degrees with every 1,000 feet loss in elevation. A depth of over 6,000 feet in places leads to extreme temperature differentials between the rims and the canyon bottom.
Let's take a look at the map for day 2. Starting at Hermit Rapids,
we hiked up the Hermit Trail to Hermit Creek, and then we followed the Tonto Trail around to Boucher Creek, where we set up camp for the night. Day 2 was about 9 miles. Day 2 of our backpack in the Grand Canyon has been another fun day. The 7 miles from this morning was a significant underestimation, but we made it to our destination safe and sound. Spectacular weather, couldn't have asked for anything better. Nice and sunny part of the day, nice and cloudy part of the day, comfortable temperatures. Got a beautiful campsite here on Boucher Creek. We're gonna get settled in, and as long as nothing crazy happens, that'll be the end of day 2. Good night. Good morning. We made it to day 3 in the Grand Canyon. Another calm, relaxing night last night. Quite warm throughout the evening and into the night. Very comfortable for us. Stop me if you've heard this before, but today should be an easy day. We're planning to go about 6 miles to Slate, and hopefully we'll see some good views along the way. The sun has started to light up some of the farther canyon walls. Has not hit us yet. We're gonna get started. It's time to hit the trail. Heading down Boucher Canyon towards Topaz Canyon. Looking up into Topaz Canyon. The sun has started to hit us and is warming up quickly, especially because we're climbing. Another absolutely pitch perfect day of weather so far. Giving some great views of the canyons in and out of the main canyon. Just had a big climb to start the day, but we've been promised that it is flat the rest of the way. Spoiler alert, it is not flat the rest of the way. Our first glimpse of the Colorado for the day. Making our way along the Tonto platform. Up and down, up and down, up and down, but not too bad. Dead ahead on this side of the river is our first view of Slate Canyon. A good look up Slate Canyon. Looking up Slate Canyon, home sweet home. We've found a campsite and water in Slate Canyon. Not a bad view from our front porch. The Grand Canyon served as a catalyst for creation of the Federal Aviation Administration. Passenger airplanes would routinely detour over the park to enjoy the views until 2 collided mid-air in 1956. All 128 passengers perished in the tragic accident, the deadliest U.S. air crash at the time. Let's take a look at the map for day 3. Starting at our campsite along Boucher Creek, we followed the Tonto Trail around to Slate Creek, and we set up camp a little upstream. Day 3 was about 7 miles. Day 3 of our backpacking adventure in the Grand Canyon has been another great day. A fairly hot day of hiking today, with the sun beating down on the shadeless Tonto, but not too bad overall. For me, this day has broken into new ground, new territory to cover and see, so that's been cool. And I think my favorite part has been the beautiful, beautiful camping area that we have set up here in Slate Canyon. We're settling in for a relaxing evening. That'll be the end of day 3. Good night.
Good morning. We made it to day 4 in the Grand Canyon. Another calm, restful night last night. The moon has been out in full force each night. It comes up right after sunset. Makes it look like day out here during the nighttime. We're doing a day hike today out to Agate Canyon. We're going to explore along the way. We're excited to get going. It's time to hit the trail.
A desert waterfall. Beautiful sight.
This is more the scale I was talking about.
Right in there is the big rock in which we're set up camp. Really awesome weather for us so far today. The sun has been hiding behind the clouds, keeping the temperatures down. Yesterday got a little bit hot. Beautiful hiking along the Tonto platform. Great day so far. Our first view of the Colorado River today. Looking up Agate Canyon. Heading up further into Agate Canyon. Great views, red, green, beige, tan, black, brown. One of many cool, unique washes here in the Grand Canyon. Each one has their own personality. Leaving behind Agate Canyon, heading back towards Slate Canyon, where camp is waiting for us. Last look at Agate. We will continue along the Tonto platform. Returning to Slate Canyon. Home sweet home. We've made it back to our camp on Slate Creek. Let's take a look at the map for day 4. From our campsite in Slate Canyon, we followed the Tonto Trail day hiking out to Agate Canyon. We explored up canyon a ways and then retraced our steps back to camp at Slate Creek. Day 4 was about 10.5 miles. Day 4 in the Grand Canyon has been another great day. It was very comfortable hiking today. The temperatures were in the right range and it was cloudy to keep the sun off of us. It's been great to hike out here with Tom and Shomo. They're huge experts in the Grand Canyon with over 500 combined nights below the rim. And everything that I say in this video that sounds smart or has some nice historical fact, or I point out a specific location or view, all that information comes from them. They know what they're talking about. We're settling in here, and that's going to be the end of day 4. Good night.
Good morning. We made it to day 5 in the Grand Canyon. We had our coldest night of the trip last night, but it was still in the low 40s, so pretty comfortable for us. Today, we're going to day hike and explore our home canyon. We're going to go down inside Slate and try to reach the monument in the middle of the canyon, and then we'll see what happens from there. The sun is up. It's warming us up on the cold morning. We're ready to hit the trail. There's our monument that we're going to try to make it down to. Shomo is the first to make it to the monument. Therefore, we will name it Shomo Erectus. In the small layer of rock at the base of our monument, there's around 1 billion years difference in the ages.
The staggering walls of the Grand Canyon represent one of the most complete rock records available, but more time is missing than is preserved. This gap between the nearly 2 billion year old Vishnu basement group and the approximately 500 million year old Tonto group is known as the Great Unconformity.
We are heading out to the monument, returning to camp. We'll retrace our steps back up out of Slate Canyon and then along the Tonto Trail back to the camp that we have set up. That glimmer of water in the distance just looks so enticing. Home sweet home. Time to gather water, eat some dinner, and settle in for the sunset. On day 6, we explored Slate Canyon for about 2.5 miles. Day 5 in the Grand Canyon has been another great day. A very relaxing day for us. We day hiked and explored around for a bit and spent quite a bit of time enjoying the shadows and the light dance across the canyon walls. You can sit in one place and every minute and every hour the view changes due to the light reflecting off the rocks and the way that the shadows move throughout the day. Makes for a very enjoyable experience. We're settling in, and that'll be the end of day 5. Good night. Good morning. We made it to day 6 in the Grand Canyon. We had our best star night of the trip last night. Clear skies and the moon didn't rise until after it was dark, so plenty of stars splashed across the sky to enjoy. Throughout the night some clouds moved in and they're bringing some rain as well. We packed up a little bit wet. We're hoping for the best for the rest of the day. Our plan is to cover about 7 miles to Boucher Creek. We're ready to hit the trail. There's our monument. It's been a light drizzle so far today. If it stays like this, it won't be too bad, but hopefully it doesn't keep up for the entire day. Leaving Slate Canyon behind. Thanks for the hospitality, Slate. Our first view of the Colorado River today. Continuing along the Tonto Trail, eventually we're gonna kind of drop down into Boucher Canyon. It's farther than it looks. Looking up Topaz Canyon. Looking up Boucher Canyon. Home sweet home. We've made it to camp on Boucher Creek. Got a couple nice tent pads to set up on down here. We're going to go ahead and do that before any more rain bands come in on us.
Archaeological evidence suggests that humans have used and lived in the Grand Canyon for over 10,000 years. Let's take a look at the map for day 6. We packed up camp in Slate Canyon and followed the Tonto Trail back around to Boucher Creek where we got set up. Day 6 was about 7 miles. Day 6 of our backpacking trip in the Grand Canyon has been the worst day of the trip, but still a very, very good day overall. The rain had an impact on us as it rained most of the day, despite the forecast only calling for a 22% chance today. But we still had a good hike, we got to where we wanted to go, and we stayed mostly dry and comfortable overall. We've made it to our campsite, we're getting settled in, and that'll be the end of day 6. Good night. We made it to day 7. We've been battling a storm for over 24 hours now. Rain off and on yesterday. In the evening, very strong winds blew through for the entire night, and then in the morning the rain started again, which today has been interspersed with bands of sunshine. It's very pleasant when it's not raining, but when the rain comes, we hunker down in our tents. In the sunny times, we've gotten to explore the area a little bit up creek, saw a couple old Indian ruins, and had a good day in the sun. We're gonna settle in, wait for the next band of rain, and that'll be it for day 7. Good morning. We made it to day 8, the final day of our trip in the Grand Canyon. We're getting started hiking right as the sun is coming up. Obviously we've already packed up, ate breakfast. We've got a little over 9 miles today to reach the top of the rim. We're heading up the Boucher Trail, which is always fun. This is a nice 360-degree look at this beautiful bowl that we've been camped at in the Boucher Creek area. Watching the sun creep down the mountains as we creep up them. We started our day right down there. The Boucher Trail is a tricky one, and the worst is still yet to come. This is the Boucher Trail. Trail in air quotes. And again, still not to the worst section yet. Made it up our first big climb on the way out. Now we're up at the top of White's Butte. Looking down into the canyon we climbed up, and there's the butte right there. It's a pretty cloudy day today so far. Very comfortable temperature for hiking. A little chilly when stopped, but not too bad. We had a big climb to get up to this point. It's not our last climb of the day. Boucher continues to be a boo blast. There is the trail that we've been coming up as we continue to rise. All the tough parts of Boucher lead up to this. The crux with a fresh rock slide on it. Whew. Yuma Point. It's turned into a very pretty day for us. Partly cloudy, no hint of rain. And we are continuing our way up to the top of the canyon. The tip of Yuma Point. And we can see there are advantages of being in the canyon after 24 hours of rain, water, and some interesting places. Off the tip is our first view of the day of the Colorado River. Down below is the Hermit Trail and Hermit Gorge, which we hiked on and into on day one. There's the trail out to Dripping Springs. We are not going to visit that this trip. Now heading on to the Hermit Trail for the last big climb of the trip. We were last at this intersection 8 days ago. Final intersection of the trip. The Waldron Trail breaks off, and we are going to climb up Hermit. Memories from day one, hiking through the snow, the brutal cold, and the biting winds. It's much nicer now. One final look below the rim of the Grand Canyon.
Eight days later, and we're back to the top of the canyon. The bottom is optional, top is mandatory. We made it here. I never have words for adventures of this magnitude. What a treat to spend over a week in such a beautiful area. But for me, the biggest treat of all is getting to hike with Shomo and Tom. The knowledge that they have about the Grand Canyon is outstanding. They're nice fellas, and they're just all around fun guys to have on a trip. We are super excited to go get some food. That'll be the end of it. Goodbye.
Let's take a look at the map for day 8. Packing up camp on Boucher Creek, we followed the Boucher Trail up and around to the Dripping Springs Trail, then to the Hermit Trail for a final climb up the Hermit's Rest. Day 8 was about 10 miles for a trip total close to 60 miles.